Shocking before and after photos reveal awful truth about widespread U.S. crop failures this year, 2019. Authored by Michael Snyder via the Economic Collapse blog. Tyler Dern reports this on Zero Hedge. Torrential rains have been hammering in the heartland of America for months, and at this point, vast stretches of farmland in the middle of the country are nothing but mud. As a result of the endless rain and unprecedented flooding that we have witnessed, millions of acres of farmland will have nothing planted on them until planted at all in 2019. That's a major national crisis. But most farmers were able to get seeds planted in the deplorable conditions, and now they're desperately hoping that something will actually grow. Unfortunately, on farm after farm, what's coming out of the ground looks absolutely terrible. Even if we get ideal weather conditions for the rest of the summer, there's no way that many of these fields will be ready before the first hard frost arrives. As you'll see below, the truth is that we're potentially facing the most widespread crop failure in the United States history. It's the biggest news story in America so far this year. And the mainstream media is finally starting to understand the gravity of what we're facing. Just consider the following quote from a recent Quartz article. The stories across the Midwest are wrenching. Scrolling through the hashtag NoPlant19, hashtag turns up dozens of posts about farmers staring out at the soggy fields or farm equipment foundering in deep mud. It's likely many will see their harvests devastated this year, and global grain prices could spike. But of course, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so let's share the before and after photo that a farming couple in Indiana named Kyle and Tori Klein recently shared on Facebook. It's a before and after 1 year ago and today. According to Tori, the corn was almost above Kyle's head at this time last year, but today it's barely out of the ground. Quote, these two pictures speak volumes of the crisis American farmers are facing this spring. Kyle is about 6'3", and the corn was nearly above his head. Most corn around our area is lucky to be out of the ground, let alone knee-high. It's just some food for thought for those who think farmers are rich or greedy or what have you. It's the reason food and gas prices will be getting higher this summer as the summer goes on. I pray for those who did not or still have not gotten their crops in for their safety and mental health. This year will be one to remember. Now, do you think that corn is going to be ready when harvest time rolls around? And of course, the Kleins are far from alone. All over the nation, farmers are facing either dramatically reduced yield or no harvest at all. There's a number of pictures here you can see from various states: Indiana, Nebraska, Kansas, Illinois. We've never seen anything like this. Now that you have seen these pictures, you're starting to understand why so many of us have been warning that U.S. agricultural production is going to be way, way down this year. Corn is not supposed to grow in mud, but due to the horrific weather conditions, many farmers in the middle of the country had absolutely no choice in the matter. For example, corn farmer Scott Labig confessed that he was ashamed of what the nightmarish weather conditions forced him to do. Labig was doing something he had never done in his career, something his father and his grandfather never did either in their working time, this same land for the last century. He said, I'm ashamed of how I'm planting corn today. This is terrible. He was planting seeds into mud. How could things actually grow in this mess, he said. If you do not live in the middle of the country, you may have a difficult time grasping the true scope of what we are potentially facing. The farmers do not grow our food. If farmers do not grow our food, we do not eat. This is not a drill, and widespread crop failures are going to have a dramatic implication for all of us in the months ahead. Food prices are going much higher, and I urge you to get prepared while you still can. According to John Newton, the chief economist at the American Farm Bureau Federation, we have never faced, quote, anything like this since I've been working in agriculture, end quote. We are truly in unprecedented territory already, and it won't take very much at all to turn 2019 into a complete and utter national catastrophe. If the weather is absolutely perfect for the next few months, 2019 will still be a horrible, horrible year for farmers in the middle of the country. But if the rain doesn't stop, or if there is too much heat, or if a very early harvest frost happens, a hard frost happens, we could be facing a national nightmare that is beyond what most of us would even dare to imagine. And guess what? Over the weekend, the middle of the country was pounded by even more severe storms. Hundreds of people were without power in Missouri and Kansas on Sunday as storms ripped through the area, prompting officials to warn drivers to remain off the roads as flash flood warnings were in effect. Until 8:45 a.m. Central Time, a flash flood warning was in effect in Missouri's Trenton, Bethany, and Gallatin cities, according to the National Weather Service, while such warnings were in effect until 8:30 a.m. Central Time in St. Joseph, Atchison, and Savannah. Just when you think that this crisis cannot possibly get any worse, it does. We're literally watching a massive national crisis unfold right now in front of our eyes, and I will do my best to continue to keep you updated, he says. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.